What is going on, true believers? Guys, I am forever bullish. There are things in this market, however, that are not working to our advantage right now, and there is a possibility of even more dump happening in this market. I'm going to break down what the problems are right now, and maybe there'll be a solution to it. I don't know how long it's going to take, starting with the Clarity Act. The Clarity Act is up for debate and discussion right now, and it looks like there's going to be a vote, and the vote is probably being pushed. But let's remember that we still have some problems in government, and we can't seem to get anything moving forward. So we have some problems. Let me break them all down. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. And we're going to start off with number one. The number one problem right now is institution and whales selling. Okay, large holders, they've been offloading significant portions of their Bitcoin for the last little while. Over the last 30 days, 815,000 Bitcoin were sold by long-term holders, while Bitcoin treasury demand from corporations and institutional players has been going down, 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 down. We talk about that every day, and you've seen that. Some digital asset treasuries are even unwinding all of their positions to defend premiums. So there's a lot of nervousness and sentiment in the market that's just not good right now, and a lot of it comes back to that Clarity Act. So what are we to do? Institutional outflows from Bitcoin ETFs have accelerated. Yesterday was about $866 million on the Bitcoin ETF. That was 1.3 billion. I think it went up to 2.1 billion in a very short period of time. So this reversal is incredibly nerve-wracking for a lot of people. Now, let's back up and let's talk about why those things started to happen. Well, a couple weeks ago, Wintermute, out of nowhere, dumped the majority of their holdings on the open market, and they were using AI bots to do microtransactions all over Binance and Coinbase until Coinbase failed, and then they moved everything over to Binance to continue their massive liquidation event and massive sell-off. And we saw things like SWI going down to 50 cents. Like, there were crazy, crazy dips. If you had a buy order set and you bought, you made out like a bandit. However, when something like that happens, it causes people to get a little bit nervous. So what did that lead to? That led to a massive wave of liquidations that created a major pullback and turned them into full-blown dumps. In the past 24 hours, $1.1 billion in positions were liquidated, with longs taking about $970 million in hits, while the broader cascade since early November is close to $2 billion at this point, and that's about 500,000 traders, okay? The October 10 blow-up event wiped out $19 billion. I mean, there's a lot that was happening here. Now, we thought when this happened that leverage positions were wiped out and that we could now be refreshed and clean. But guess what? All they did was take new positions to try to claw some of that money back, with people deciding that they're now bearish on the market, and they started to short. Now, this came along with another event, and that was the end of the bull run. Now, is it the end of the bull run? I don't think that it is. Macroeconomics tell me that money supply is still going up, quantitative tightening is ended, all of the different things that could be good in the market, they've all happened, or they're on the cusp of happening. But the government shutdown slowed some things down. But let's take it a little bit deeper. There was a broader risk sell-off in the AI tech bubble. NVIDIA lost $200 billion in market cap. NASDAQ dropped 2%. S&P fell 1.5%. All of these things are not directly tied to Bitcoin, but they are pretty similar, and they've drawn down some of that excitement that we had. Federal Reserve has not been cutting the way that we thought they should be cutting. President Trump himself has been saying, we need 50 basis point cuts. These 25 basis point cuts are doing nothing. They're not stoking excitement in the market, and it's not working. So the FOMC has been very uncertain. And because we have no October data right now, then it looks like there is a potential or a possibility that the FOMC will decide not to cut rates in December. And now people are starting to price that in, and that means a lower market. Also, global liquidity, despite the fact that M2 money supply spiked super hard for a long period of time, okay? As of December 1st, no new money, or as of November 1st, no new money has been flowing in. M2 money supply, despite being at or near all-time highs, is kind of trading sideways right now. And reverse repo balances are very high. Repo market has been completely dry, which has forced the Fed to inject liquidity into it. The U.S. government shutdown blocked the Treasury general account refills, stalling these markets of fresh capital. Weak Chinese economic data came out. U.S.-China tariff trade risks started to happen. Doubts over the Trump tariffs have started to take place. There's a lot to unpack here that's been going on. Also, let's just take a step back here and say Bitcoin recently hit an all-time high. There has to be a correction at some point where people start to step in and they take their profit. Now, what we wanted to see was a higher number, and then what we wanted to see was a rotation into altcoins. We're not getting the rotation into altcoins. We're getting everything being unwound. Why is that happening? The answer to that is because we don't have a Clarity Act. What we do have is we've got a Genius Act. The Genius Act tells us that stablecoins are governed as commodities and that they have a path forward. And we're seeing huge spikes in the amount. I think 184 billion is the market cap right now for USDT. So those things have shown us that the future of money is definitely crypto, that it's digital assets, but it's not Bitcoin itself. It's USDT, it's Circle, it's USDC, it's PYUSD, it's RLUSD. Stable coins are the method of payment. Crypto is the method of investment right now, and almost all of it is speculative. Okay, Bitcoin just shattered its support, which had 98,000, which has been defended since June of this year, $100,000, which of course is a psychological barrier. And when those things start to break down, here's what happens. Not only do you have people like me or like you that are selling, but you're also dipping the algorithm. So if you, let's say, bought at 80,000 right now and you're seeing Bitcoin dip below 98,000, you're thinking that it's coming down into your range and you have a potential to lose a lot of your gains and liquidation. So now you've got algorithmic people who are just selling, and then that creates more bearish momentum. Okay. Ethereum at this point, it's erased all of the gains that it's had in the year 2025. Altcoins like XRP, BNB are underperforming right now, even though they had some nice runs for this year. Sentiment is at multi-year lows. And to be fair, the Fear and Greed Index is sitting at about 14 right now, with high stablecoin dominance, risk off positioning. No new money is coming into the market. Communities are out of cash after repeated blowups. And listen, go look around at any of your meme coins. Go look around. The gambling is dead right now. There's trading. There's about 10 billion in trading in DeFi over the last 24 hours, but that was 20 billion a short while ago, even up to 30 billion at one point. So, we've seen a huge drawdown in this. And guess what? There is a possibility that we get a rebound for Bitcoin, but if the Bitcoin rebound doesn't go beyond 98,000, again, that June number right there, if we don't get there, then we're probably going to come down some more. If we break below the 1 year moving average, which is 102,000, we can't find a way back up. If we break at 98, then we're probably headed down. People are going to start looking at it and say, well, the run's over, the money's over, and they're just going to take their money and disappear. And that's going to lead to more cascades of sells. Those more cascades of sells will bring some new buyers in, but until we find that bottom, we don't know exactly what's going on. All of these things are happening. Now, let's talk about the good. All right. Fundamentally speaking, we just got an XRP ETF bullish. The Solana ETFs bullish. We're about to have Ethereum change the way that it does business and allow staking on the ETFs, also bullish. We've got the Genius Act, which is bullish, but we're still waiting for the Clarity Act. Once the Clarity Act is here, we will know how crypto is going to be fully governed going forward and into the future. But until we have that, we're kind of stuck in a very high risk area in which you, the consumer, are being played. Now, to close this out, let me tell you how you're being played and how we are all being played. Some institutions are bullish. Some institutions are bearish. They are taking positions and then they are attacking one another. We are just caught in the middle, and we are collateral to these giants of industry who are making these massive moves. And by the way, I don't mean large corporations necessarily. I mean big time whales who might control $1 billion worth of Bitcoin at any given moment, and they might just decide to go after somebody specifically. If you guys don't remember, a few months back, James Wynn, now, as far as I'm concerned, he's been one of the worst investors in the history of crypto in the short term. Long term, I believe the guy probably made about $50 to $150 million. Okay, so trust me, he's not broke. But his last 37 trades have ended in him getting annihilated and liquidated every single time. Now, that might be a fake out. He might just be playing around with house money, if you will, and doing it for engagement farming because, you know, if you get wiped out 37 times for $1 million, you lose 37 million. But if you had 150 million and you're playing a secret wallet the opposite way, he might actually be playing it perfectly. He's farming for engagement on X, and, you know, stuff like that could be happening. But these guys, these people with 150, 250, 350 million dollars, you know, they make these big investments. And then the thing that we saw initially, his first big liquidation that we saw was courtesy of Justin Sun. Let that sink in for just a moment. Justin Sun, another Bitcoin whale, also the owner of Tron. He reached out publicly on X and asked people to start buying Bitcoin to run up the price to liquidate James Wynn, to prove a point about shorting the market. And what that really showed was that we are not in control of this market. The whales, the industry, you know, all of these institutions, they're in control of this market. And here's where it gets, this is where it gets absolutely and downright frightening. They can move these markets to enormous levels in short order. And we saw that. And guess what happened? That spooked people. And then what else spooked people? A few months later, Wintermute sells everything. Now, they bought $1 billion worth of crypto on Binance after they dumped everything. Why would they do that? Would they do that because they think the price is coming down? And by the way, the price right now is down to about where they bought. Do you think that they bought $1 billion worth of crypto in order for it to not make money? No, of course not. There is still money on the table. They are still going to find money. The problem with it right now is simply that they have scared everybody off, and it's going to take a moment. To close this, remember Mantra. Mantra had one big whale who got liquidated for a huge amount of money on Aave from a lending platform, and he got liquidated. The OM got sold on the open market. That wrecked their price, taking it from $8 all the way down to where it is right now, which is like 8 cents, which is about 100 million market cap. Still a significant market cap for any crypto, but certainly not the billions of dollar market cap that it was not that long ago. I mean, I think it was at one point a $10 billion market cap. So what does all this mean? Well, Mantra can't seem to get its bearings right now, and it keeps going lower and lower and lower and lower with the rest of the market, and people are just getting exhausted. They're getting tired. They're getting liquidated. They're not seeing the gains. The bull market never came for a lot of people. If you were in Bitcoin, the bull market came for you. Okay. If you accumulated in late 2022 into the early part of 2023, you made substantial gains. You also, if you did XRP, you made substantial gains. You made Ethereum substantial gains. You made Solana substantial gains. But after that, you didn't make substantial gains on almost everything else. Okay. Which is why I say this bull market is not over. We're going to have another pump. It's going to come with the Clarity Act. And I can assure you that the President of the United States, Donald John Trump, is going to start to come out with some announcements pretty soon that are going to be jaw-dropping and shocking in the crypto industry. And it's going to lead to an absolute crazy sort of pump in the market. I guarantee you that it's going to happen. He is too deeply invested and he controls too much power, and he can't help himself. He will do something to pump this market. But until then, we're going to need to take a break here and have just a little bit of patience. I'm not sure what the next move is, but it looks like right now it looks like Dr. Profit Crypto was right. This market is going down, and I don't see anything right now that's going to stop it. Let me know what you think. What I think you should do, by the way, just hold on, okay? If you're a dev holder, if you're holding on to something that's got a fundamental business partnership or announcement or something that's going to happen, don't worry about it. The reason I say don't worry about it is because there's something like $270 billion sitting in stablecoins right now. This market is not dry, and this market doesn't lack liquidity. Okay, there's plenty of liquidity. The market cap is still $3.2 trillion. Okay, this is an asset class that's ready to soar. The question really is, when can we get that Clarity Act so that the whole market can have its blow off top and we can see and start to speculate a little bit? Speculation in crypto is very difficult at this moment, but it won't stay that way very long. Quantitative easing is coming. Rate cuts are coming. Clarity Act is coming. Donald Trump is going to announce some stuff that's going to be coming. Crypto is the future. All you have to do is have the stomach for it, have the patience for it, and just hold on a little bit longer. Okay? This is not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you stayed here to the end, let me know what your favorite crypto is down in the comment section down below. And we'll talk to you again very, very soon.